Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, pupils. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing great. Before we proceed to today's topic, I want to appreciate all those that did the assignment last week. I know it was a very taxing assignment, but I believe you have learned a lot. So today, inshallah, we are going to begin what we call network equipment. Network equipment. In our previous lesson, we did what we call the network topology, the network itself, and now we are going to see the kind of equipment we use for networking. So before we proceed, we are going to take a look a little bit at the objectives. The first objective we are going to learn is define network equipment. The second one is to classify the equipment into two categories. And the third one is to list the examples of networking equipment. So now, let's dive into the topic of discussion. What is a network equipment? Network equipment, they are those devices that required for communication. They are devices that allows one network device to communicate with another network device. They allow one computer to be able to communicate with another computer. They allow the interaction between the computer in one end and the computer in another end, or with other networking devices. So let me repeat the definition again. These are devices that are required for communication and interaction between devices on computer network. So now, we are now going to see the types of networking equipment. So the first one we are going to talk about is the end user devices. And the second one is the network devices. They are categorized into two. The first one, end user devices, and the second, network devices. So now, let's now see what is the end user device. What are the end user devices? End user devices allow user to be able to share, create, obtain information. They provide the user a connection to the network. So the end user device are devices that allow one to be able to obtain information from the network, that allow somebody to be able to receive information from the network. Examples of the end user devices are, you have the printer. You can be able to obtain an information from the internet. Let's say a friend of mine sent me a message and I want to print it out in form of a hard copy. I can be able to do that using printer, which is an end user device. This is a picture of a printer for those that have never seen a printer before, but I know that you've all seen a printer. So the scanner, there's a picture of a scanner. A scanner always converts image on the computer to a printed image, maybe the hard copy image. So this is a printer. We also have other ones which are security camera. So they are also end user devices. We can connect a camera to the network so as to be able to perform a certain task. So now, the laptop or PCs. PC means personal computer. So they are also what we call the end user devices. We also have others which are the voice over IP phones, voice over IP internet protocol phones. These are the type of phones that are required, that are also end user devices. We also have other mobile phones which are also end user devices. So now let's go to the other type of network equipment, which is network device. The network device. The network device connects end user devices to allow them communicate. Take for instance, I want to communicate with my friend in Abuja. It's required a connection. My friend has a phone which is an end user device. I have a phone which is an end user device. But there are a series of connections that will happen between my friend and I. So those devices that are used to transfer the message between my friend and I are what they call the network devices. So not only the phone, we have computers. The computers, we say series of computer, or when we join one computer to another computer so that they can be able to communicate with one another, we have to use these network devices. And the network devices are always in between the devices, like the star topology, in which I showed you a picture of a star topology in which whenever a computer wants to send an information to another computer, it will first of all pass through the hub, right? If you can remember, it will pass through a network device, and the network device will now send the information to the receiver. So they also provide transport for data that needs to be transferred between the end user devices. I believe you are not lost. So now let's continue. Examples of the network devices are, we have the repeater. The repeater. In our next class, inshallah, we are going to talk much on the functions of these network devices. But for now, we should know that a repeater is an example of a network device. You can see, there's a picture of a repeater. Then we have a hub. I know this is not a strange word for us, a hub. This is also a picture of a hub. We now have other types, which is switch. I know this is very familiar to us. In the primary e-learning, at the top of the racket where Uncle Abdul used to sit, we have this kind of device at the top. You see it blinking. The lights are always blinking. Then we also have the router. The router is in form of this shape. We have different types of router, but this is the kind of router I want to introduce to you. We also have other types, which is the modem. The modem. If you want to connect your computer to the internet, you use the device called the modem. I believe this is very familiar to all of us. We are familiar with this device. We also have another one which is called the bridge. The bridge, there's a picture of a bridge. We are going to talk more of the bridge in our next class, inshallah. So now, hub used in connecting computers. I'm going to show you the summary of what we've discussed so far. This is a computer. Let's call this the sender of information, or a server. Then these are the receiver of the information or the data. So when we connect a hub to it, it will give room for us to be able to connect 5 different types of computers. As you can see, we have 5 ports here. So it will give us the access to be able to connect 5 different computers which are already here. So now when this computer now send an information, it will split itself in the hub. Then it will now move to different computers. It will move to different computers. So these are the hub, which is used to connect this computer to these different computers. Without the hub, the computer can only be connected to one another like this. Without the hub, you cannot connect these extra 4 computers. Let's move to the other one. The other one is the switch, connecting different computers. As you can see, there is a picture of a switch. It's, let's say, a server or a sender of information is sending to these computers. That is personal computer 1, personal computer 2, down to personal computer 5. We have 5 different computers here, and we have a switch. This switch, I know you are familiar with it. It is in the primary e-learning. Look at the lights. Have you seen the lights? Always blinking. So this computer now is still connected to the switch, just like in the case of the hub. It has plenty ports behind it, and we can be able to send information to any computer of your choice. Unlike the hub, whereby it will just split itself. But this one has it function in a unique way, whereby if I want to send an information to PC1, other PCs are not going to receive the information. Unlike the first computer, we are going to talk, unlike the first case, that is the hub. We are going to talk much about this in our next class, inshallah. So now, the last one of which I'm going to display to you is a router connecting 2 separate networks. As we can see, we have a network here and we have another network here. So this is the network 1 and this is the network 2. So now, these are 2 separate networks and we want this network to be able to communicate with this network. So we now bring what we call a router. A router is a network device that is used to join 2 or more networks together. It is used to join 2 or more separate networks together. We're still going to talk about this next week, inshallah. But all I want you to know that there is a picture of a switch and there is a picture of a router. A router is used to join 2 or more computers with the sender of information. And the router is used to join 2 or more separate networks together. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day ahead.